All right, let's do a quick test to see what happens when I cool the beverage matching transformer. I already had one made. This is a typical 9-to-1 transformer made of 73 type material. It's got a gas discharge tube across it, which doesn't matter. Yeah, this was handy. I had it. I'm going to test it with my Nano VNA. I've got a 560 ohm resistor across the termination where the beverage ought to go. And I did a sweep here. And you can see I put 3 markers, and you can see at the in and around the 160 meter band about a series resistance of 75 ohms. So it ought to be a pretty good match. 76 ohms at 80 meters and down around 76 ohms at 40 meters. You know, the VSWR is shown as 1.5 to 1, but that's because my characteristic impedance with this setting is at 50 ohms. Okay, I'm going to pop this thing into the freezer, and then I'm going to pull it out and see what happens. All right, here's my freezer. It's minus 20.7 degrees. I've got a thermocoupler temperature gauge on my Fluke multimeter. Let's pop this guy in here. I'm going to put it in with the chicken. Sit it here and leave it for about an hour, and we'll come back and see, then do another measurement. All right, it's been a little bit over an hour. One thing I did discover is the Nano VNA leads were just long enough so that I could keep them connected to the matching transformer while it was in the freezer. That made it so that I could very quickly just add the resistor. I decided to add the resistor very quickly and keep it warm. However, you know, these are metal oxide resistors, which have a more forgiving temperature coefficient, but at least I wanted to eliminate that as a parameter here. Here's the sweep. Well, you know what? Very little, if any, difference at all. You know, I've cooled this thing off to, like I said, about minus 20 from plus 20 room temperature, so about a 40-degree temperature change. Maybe less than in the field, but look at that. Really no change whatsoever. You know, we're still 75 ohms on 80 meters, 160, the same on 80 meters, and on 40 meters, it's still pretty stable at 75 ohm series resistance. So I would say any change in the permeability of this matching transformer, or rather the core, really isn't impacting the matching properties of the transformer. 73, Steve, V6WZ.